Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Star Trek Captain's Chair. Well, I don't know about quickly, but we'll try. 1 to 2 players, it's for ages 14 and up, and the average play time is 60 to 120 minutes. If you want to see the components and all the different cool stuff in the box, go check out my recent unboxing video. If I remember, I'll put a link in the below description, but sometimes I forget because I'm old. So, Star Trek Captain's Chair. There's a couple of different modes with this game. There's the Cadet training mode, which is just solo. You're just trying to get the highest score possible. That's what we're going to be doing today. And there's also the solo versus an actual bot. And there's multiple difficulty settings with that. And then there's the 2 players version. And today, like I said, we're going to be doing that solo Cadet training mode. This is my first time attempting this game, and there are a lot of different concepts. So I might get a little wrong or two, but as I always say, I'm here to spread awareness, have some fun, show off some really cool games. So when it comes to rules, I do my best, but I can't make any promises that it's going to be perfect, okay? Again, learning game. So, in this game, it's a deck builder, and there are 1 of 6 captains you can choose. I'm going to choose Captain Jean-Luc Picard, A, because it's Captain Jean-Luc Picard, and B, because he's the easiest out of all of them, according to the complexity ratings in the rulebook. So, for our Cadet training mode, we're going to be Captain Picard. We start with the Picard Captain card, and this is always going to be on the table. Even though this is a deck builder, it is possible to have cards in play permanently for a while, but the captain will always be there. And each captain will have different text on it. We'll get to those later. You start with 5 away team tokens, which are these pink ones over here. These can be sent to different neutral locations to try and take control of them. Also onto locations that you might already control to do some cool things. There's also tags in the upper right, like this says Starfleet and Human. So different cards are going to have like different traits. And that may come into play for scoring purposes or other card effects, that kind of thing. There's also maybe some endgame condition here, like scoring, reactions, and there's a lot, okay? But long story short, you always start with your captain. And in this case, you're going to take a look at the deck that you've got. Each captain has its own deck. And you're going to take a look at the bottom, and if it says deployed, that means you start the game with it already like on the table. And this is the Enterprise D, and that has a Starfleet tag. This little symbol over here to the left, that blue, yellow, red, that is wild, meaning that whenever you score blue, yellow, or red, which I'll get to in a minute, you can choose any one of these, okay? And there's also different, like, effects down here. The area in white is the one-off effect that you get for playing it, but it's only when you're playing it and then you discard it later. But if you're permanently keeping it on the table, or at least for now, you use the activations to activate it while it's, like, deployed on the table. But anyway, it starts deployed already, so we're not going to do the top part. We're only going to do the bottom part for a while until the ship goes away, and then it comes back into our hand later. And we also get a little figurine, well, not a figurine, but it's a standee here. And there are bottoms for this, but because this is like a more top-down angle, I'm going to leave them off just so they're easier to see. Otherwise, you're going to be looking at that, and it's not very nice. So I'm just going to leave the bases off. Like I said, there are... this is a deck builder, and you start the game, at least with this character, 10 cards. And this is like your starter deck. You have a hand of 5 cards to start with, and I'll get to these in a minute. Sort of going back to this whole blue, yellow, and red icon over here. There's blue, yellow, and red over here to the left, and this is kind of like your tracker. And I don't think I can take this out. I can't, but that's okay. I'll bring it up anyway. So on this board, you've got a blue, yellow, and red track, and you're going to be trying to move the cubes up the tracks. This is like research, influence, and like tactical or whatever combat. And each captain will have different like milestones. And depending on how far you are, you might get, like, at the end of the game, a ×4 multiplier for your science, or ×3 multiplier for your influence. And some cards that reference these icons, like we'll say, for every icon that you have in your display area, move the blue one up so many spaces, and that will help you do that. This icon here, and that's one of the things you're going to be doing is trying to move these up. In addition to that, captains have different goals. And on the basic side, there's one goal. And on the reverse side, like the advanced side, which is over here, there's 3 of them. And you get different rewards. In the advanced game, you can complete as many as you want, and you get different rewards. And there's a tracker for that. Like there's these tokens. So as you complete them, you can put these tokens over top of these to indicate that you completed them, because you can only do them once. But on the basic side, it's just the one mission, and that's what we're going to be doing today. Our goal is to have 3 ally cards on the same ship, and at least 2 of the different the tracks here, blue, yellow, and red, at 4+. So we want like blue, yellow, and red, 2 of these out of the 3 to at least get up to the 4 space. As a reward, we gain 4 dilithium and 4 crystal, or 4 cards. You may junk a card from the market. This is the parts of a round here, so we're going to be referring to that regularly. Let's see if I can get that right back there. Probably not. Okay, well, I tried. All right, we'll put that there. I don't think my fat fingers are going to allow that. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we got that. As far as resources in this game, I have them off to the left here, so you probably can't see them. But there's these pink ones are dilithium, the yellow ones are gold pressed latinum, and these, you can't see them, these are glory tokens. These are like victory point tokens, but you can spend them in place of dilithium or gold pressed latinum if you want to. There's a conversion ratio on the back here. 1 glory is equal to 2 dilithium or 1 gold pressed latinum. Instead of making the trade directly, you know, if you need dilithium and don't have it, but you have glory, you just spend the glory, and there's no change. So if you only need 1 dilithium to pay for something and you don't have it, you still spend the 1 glory, but you don't get any dilithium back from that. I'm going to be referring to this too. There's a lot of common terms on the back, and there's even a glossary here of all the different key words and what they all mean. So you're going to forgive me as I attempt to learn all that. There's also a bunch of common terms on this little guide card here. I'll be referring to that as well. So I think that's everything. I'm going to be using these 5X tokens. As cards are activated and used, you will be supposedly, turning them like 90 degrees to show that you've done it. Due to lack of table space, I'm going to use these 5X tokens to just track when I've activated a card, because a card may have multiple abilities on it, but you can only activate it once, and then you exhaust. So you have to kind of choose which of the activation powers you want to use, then you exhaust it. You start the game, 1 glory, 1 dilithium, and 1 gold pressed latinum. You have your 10 card deck over here. There's also some other stuff going on. There's a location deck, and you start with 3 basic locations face up. We're going to be trying to control these and bring them into our own area at some point. And these different planets will have different symbols on the left to help you move these up, assuming you get a card that observes these. This control here means that as soon as you take control of it, something happens. In this case, there is no effect. And then this resupply thing is a special thing that happens during a round. I'll get to that when it comes up. The virtual opponent will have 1 of everything, including 1 away team token at each location. So I'm kind of fighting for control over these locations. It already has 1 away team there. In order to get a planet, you have to get 3 tokens on it. The tokens can be a ship or an away team token. So as long as I've got 3 on there and 2 more than my opponent, I can take control of it during the appropriate part of a round. And the location deck, there's 1 more basic one, 1 random basic location here, and the rest are advanced. So there's a whole deck. And there's more of these basic locations off to the side that we're just not going to use for this game. Okay. There's also the reserve deck, which is this face-down deck of 4 cards for Captain Picard. You shuffle these up and put them face down. You're going to blow through these first. You take 1 every time you get through all of your cards and have to cycle through it. And then you've got these developments here, which come after that. So once you blow through these, you get to these, and these are developments. And the reason why they're face up is because when you get to take 1, you can look through the entire stack, and then you choose which one, and then you buy it. And the cost is on the bottom, so you're going to pay that much to get that card. So that's why this is arranged like so. You blow through reserve first, then you start getting to your developments. And then off to the right is the market. There are 4 different market columns. These are people, this is cargo, this is ships, and this is allies. And these are important for different reasons for different captains. Like Captain Picard's, I think, endgame bonus is score 1 point for each of your ally cards. So I want to collect allies if at all possible. And also the goal is to have 3 allies on the same ship. So I'm going to be trying to get allies and then beam them onto one of my ships. And if I can get that done and observe that whole 4 track thing, 2 of the 3 have to be on the 4 or more, then I can complete that reward. So I want allies, definitely. These isolinear chips are to track my actions for the round. I get 3 actions per round to do various things. Some activation effects and some card abilities do not require an action. You just do them for free. So you get to do more than 3 things in a round, typically. So there's that. And then down here, there's 3 different piles. This is like the round tracker. In the solo cadet practice mode, you're going to put 5 glory here. When you run through that, you're going to do the second card, 5 glory there, run through that, then you trigger the end of the game. So in effect, there's 11 rounds. There's 5 here, 5 glory tokens that you're going to run through here. 1 is removed each round. And then 5 you're going to run through here, and then when you get to the end of the game, it's your last round, and then after 11 rounds, you tally your score. Now, there are some differences between this mode and regular play. Whenever you take glory, for whatever reason, in a regular game, you take it from here, from like the round tracker. However, in the cadet mode, you do not take from here. You take from a supply. This is simply a timer, and 1 goes away every round. So there's 5 here, like I said, and then another 5 after that, and this is the timer. So the rules are going to slightly change depending on what mode you're playing. This stack of face-down cards, I believe, are incidents. Yeah, incidents. These are bad cards that will clog up your deck. So you do not want those. If this ever runs out, by the way, in a regular game like with 2 players or the bot, the game ends immediately, and whoever has the fewest of these wins, regardless of score. However, in the cadet practice mode, if this runs out, you're toast. You automatically lose. This deck over here is encounters. These are very powerful cards that will really help you out, but getting them is kind of rare. So you want them, but I don't know if I'll be able to get to them. Again, I've never played, so I don't know what strategies to employ to get that to happen, to be honest with you. So like I said, this is a deck builder, and I'm going to be getting cards from my own personal reserve / development, and I'm also going to be getting cards from here. And there are different keywords. Sometimes when you acquire cards, it tells you to put them in your discard pile. Other times you can put it on top of your deck. It all depends on the keyword that is used at the time. Gain and scan, for example, are different than take, different than enlist, different than find, deploy, there's a lot. So you have to pay attention to the keywords to make sure you're not putting things in the wrong place. Again, I'm not going to guarantee anything. I'll do my best. Okay. So with that gobbledygook out of the way, let's give this a shot. I already drew myself 5 cards for my 10-card deck. And like I said, let's run through the parts here. Resupply. If any card in my play area had the keyword resupply on it, I would do it now. I don't have that. Moving on to control. If any of the planets can be taken by a player because they have enough tokens on it, they would take it at this point. I don't have any of that. So we move on to the actions. So now we have those 3 actions that I was talking about, and we're going to try and get things done. So I've got this recruit directive card. As you can see, there's two different abilities on it, but I have to choose one of them if I want to play it. And that little isolinear chip next to that word play means I have to spend one of my isolinear chips to actually do it. So that requires one of my actions to play it. Whereas, it looks like all of them. Oh, here's one. This set of course one, the bottom play is not an action because there's no isolinear chip next to it. I can play it for the top effect, but I have to spend an isolinear chip to do it. Or I can play it for the bottom effect and not spend one of these isolinear chips. What is that? Draw a card, then discard a card. Warp up to 2 of your ships. That could be useful because I do want to get my ship over to one of these planets to try and control them right away. The more planets I control, the more things I can possibly do, the more icons I can accrue to move this up when cards let me do that. So that's what I'm really considering doing. Will Riker. So this one has a number of, again, different sections. I can play him as a one-off right now to do the top effect, but that's going to require an action. If I deploy him as a duty officer, typically each captain can have one duty officer, and to assign him as a duty officer, there's a special action on my ship. This activation says promote a person from your hand to duty officer. If I do that, if I promote him to a duty officer, I now ignore the top part of this card. Instead, this now becomes active. This resupply, this area in blue, this is no longer a thing. Again, this top area is like a one-off. You're going to play it, do it, and then it goes to your discard pile at the end of your turn. Whereas if I put him in play, this top part goes away, and then I only observe the bottom parts. So the question is, do I want to play him as a one-off, or do I want to get a duty officer right away to possibly get some, his resupply is good. Discard the top card of your deck and gain 1 gold press latinum. Okay, and his activations for when he is a duty officer, free play a ship with Starfleet, meaning I don't have to spend an isolinear chip to actually do that. Draw a ship from your discard pile. That's also a decent one to have. His regular ability is draw 2 cards from your discard pile. I don't have any. You may spend 1 dilithium to send an away team to a location. I really don't want to start doing that yet. So I think I will promote him. And how can I do that? Okay. So I have this red alert card in my hand. That's going to clog me up a bit. Put a card on top of your deck to return this card. You may promote a person from your staging area to duty officer. Okay. I really don't know. Oh boy. The nice thing about this game is that if you blow through your actions and move to the next round, you don't have to discard your entire hand. You can actually keep your hand. You can keep some cards in your hand. But the more you do that, the less you cycle through your deck and the less you get to your reserve in your developments. So there's a risk to that. Gain 1 dilithium and 2 for each controlled location. I want to start controlling locations. Gain 1 specialty track for each matching skill icon you have in play, excluding beam cards. I'm not going to utilize this yet. It's going to be good when I have locations, but for right now, it's just not worth it, I think. Recruit. Put a card on the top of your deck to gain a person. That being a person. When I gain a person, gain is new card from the market to the top of your draw deck or to your discard pile. I can take it from here, or I can take it from here blind. And I have to choose, like, do I really need her? I don't know. So that's something I could possibly do. Or I can take an incident to gain an ally, which I don't think we're ready to do yet. Although I do need allies. And this guy here is a Halkin. And when I play him, I just gain 3 dilithium. That actually might help me pay for some of my developments later. So I'm actually considered doing that. If you have an attack in play, however, log this card. When you log something, you put it behind your captain as like the captain's log, and it's gone forever. You don't get to use it anymore. However, whatever victory points were on it is used for endgame scoring. It's worth 3 points. And I need allies. I'm really considering doing that. Having that constant supply of dilithium might be good for me. So I think what I am going to do is I'm going to play recruit as an action. So I'm going to put that into my staging area. So whenever you play a card, you put it into your staging area. Staging area cards typically go to your discard pile after the fact. But I'm going to spend one of my actions to take an incident to gain an ally. So I have to take one of these incidents. And when I take an incident, take is directly to hand from deck. Yes. Okay, so this goes right to my hand. Okay. But now I've got, I get to take that ally, right? So take to gain, and gain is I can put it to the top of my draw deck, or I can put it in my discard pile. I kind of want to put it on top of my deck so that when I get it on the next round, I can start accruing some dilithium. And it's free. Like there's no isolinear chip tag here. It just says play. So I am going to put that on top of my deck so I can start getting some dilithium. But now I have this extra trade embargo incident to deal with. Spend a latinum to return this card. You may refresh a ship. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Enterprise's activation ability. Promote a person from your hand to duty officer. So I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to exhaust it by using one of these 5X rather than rotating it. And then spend 1 latinum to return. Okay, so spend 1 latinum to return this card. And you may refresh a ship. So, yeah. So, well, okay, let's, sorry, one at a time. I'm confusing myself already. It doesn't take long. I was going to promote a person. So I'm going to promote a person, which is Riker, as a duty officer. So he is now a duty officer. And I used the activation to do that. This card is now exhausted. But now I've got this trade embargo. Spend a latinum, which I did, to return this card. You may refresh a ship. So I am now refreshing the Enterprise again. And now it is free to do other things. And I'm going to return this to the bottom of the deck there. Okay, so that's not terrible. Not terrible. I got stuff done. I've got these cards remaining. Put a card on top of your deck to return this card. You may promote a person. I could have used that as well to get Riker up there, I suppose, but it's also worth -2 points, so I need to get rid of it. I may have to switch him out at some point too. Maybe I played that incorrectly, but we're just gonna go. We're just gonna keep going with it. So I've got 2 actions remaining. Gain 1 latinum or dilithium and 2 for each control location. I don't have any. Discard up to 3 people to send the same number of away teams to the same location. I don't have any people on me. Draw a card, then discard a card. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to play this bottom one. Draw a card, then discard a card. Warp up to 2 of your ships. So I'm going to play that. And I'm going to draw a card and then discard a card. I'm going to get rid of the... I guess I'm going to get rid of the red, this red alert. I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to discard it. My discard pile, I guess I'll put over here. So I drew a card, discarded a card, and now warp up to 2 of your ships. I'm going to warp the Enterprise over to one of these locations to start trying to get away teams onto it. And the question is, which of these planets do I want? Delta Vega? I mean, this combat thing, I really don't want to go up the combat track. I get less points multipliers. Like, combat's the worst of his tracks. This one is Amargosa Observatory. That's from Generations. This is not bad. You may gain a person. If it is a scientist or engineer, gain a glory. After putting an encounter into play, gain 1 glory. You may log a card from your hand. Special, when you log this card, warp all of your deployed ships to one other location, then draw 2 cards. I don't know how I feel about that one. I mean, you may gain a person. If it is a scientist or engineer, that's Romulan. Okay, so that's not helpful. I'll wait on that one. What about this one? This is Beta Z. Control, gain 2 latinum. Okay, let's go with... And there's 3 influence markers there. That's pretty good. I'm going to send the Enterprise up there per the card that I just played. Draw a card, then discard a card. Warp up to 2 of your ships. When you warp, you move the standee to some other location, whether it's neutral or another location you control, that kind of thing. Riker now has some activations. Free play a ship with Starfleet. I don't have any. Draw a ship from your discard pile. I don't have any. Okay. So his abilities are kind of useless right now. I am going to play the Hauken card, which is gain 3 dilithium. 1, 2, 3. So I'm trying to collect some resources now. And by the way, cleanup. If you have an attack in play, log it. So I want to avoid keeping anything in play with the attack tag on it. There's none right now, so I'm good. But I need to avoid, like, if Worf was in my deck and he has that attack thing, I need to avoid making him my duty officer while this person's around during cleanup. Utilize. I've got 2 actions left. I kind of probably messed this up a bit. When gaining an ally, discard a card to gain a glory, and you may beam the gain card to a ship. I didn't want to do that, but that was a reaction that I could have done once I got this card. I could have beamed this card right to the ship, but again, I wanted to use this ability for that dilithium. And then, gain a dilithium and then 2 for each control location. Gain 1 specialty track for each matching skill icon you have in play. I only have the 1, unfortunately. So if I did play it for the bottom, I'd only be able to move one of these up by 1. I feel like the dilithium would be better to have, but I am going to get a regular supply from that card. So I feel like I'm going to spend an action there to then just pick one of these, because I have the Enterprise, and the Enterprise gives me one of these tags for free per the wild. I'm going to move my science up by 1 because I'm going to go heavy with the influence once I control that location. And the downside is, and this gets refreshed immediately. Okay. And the downside is, I don't know, I think I'm out of actions. I don't know what else to do because I've kind of played everything from my hand. I can still do this. Discard a card to beam a card here. Promote a person. Spend 1 to... No, it's not worth... Like, I've already warped that for free, so I really don't need to do that. So I kind of, probably played a little inefficient there because I had a lot of abilities, but I didn't chain them together correctly. Activation, free play a ship. Yeah, there's nothing I can really do. Okay, well, just to keep the video moving, I'm going to go ahead and just end this round there. Probably not the best round, but, it's going to take several plays to play efficiently. Plus, I'm thinking about, the camera and teaching and learning the rules, so it's not going to be the most efficient game there is. But with that said, we're going to move on to cleanup. This resolve stardate, which is this over here. And let me just make sure I got that correct. There is a... where is it? I'll show you the rulebook here while I'm at it. Gaining new cards, final scoring. There we go. So cleanup and star dates. During cleanup, wipe 1 card of your choice from the market. Return any tokens on it to the supply. Then place 1 glory from the star date card. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to choose one of these to get rid of. And this ally is Aronson Play. Requires 3 tactical. I don't think I'm going to have that. It's also a Klingon. I'm going to get rid of this ally. I'm going to junk it. I'm going to put it up here. The junk pile you may not be able to see, but I'm going to put it off to the right. And we're going to just draw a new one. And then we're going to add a glory token to one of these. These look like Organians. Yep. Play requires 4 science and list a reserve. These also require a lot of, I need to get my science up to 4 before I can even play them. Maybe there's something else I might want to put this token on. Gain 2, to Hollis. Gain 2 Latinum, you may refresh your duty officer. No, play 1, 2, 3 to scan 1, 2, 3. If you pay 2 or more, draw the gain card. Interesting. And then this ally. Spend a dilithium to gain 1. I kind of like that because I'm going to get a regular supply of dilithium and I can use her to then move myself up this track faster. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put my glory, the glory tokens round thing right there. And I'm going to let that accumulate. And when I get that card in the future, any tokens that are on that card will also come to me. And that'll be effective for endgame scoring. So that was the stardate part of it. Place glory, which I just did. Discard and draw. So all of these are going to go into the discard pile. Right there. And we're going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And we're out of cards now. So the next time I need to draw a card from here, then I'll have to refresh the discard pile and add a reserve card to it. And we've refreshed these. I can't believe I didn't use all of my actions. Oh well. I guess I shouldn't be so stingy with my actions, huh? Okay, so round 2. Let's see what we got going on. Now, there is resupply. Discard the top card of your deck and gain a gold, press Latinum. Now, if I do that, the card I end up discarding will be whatever card I put on top of here, which I'm fine with that. I want to cycle through these as quickly as possible. So before I even start anything, resupply, I'm going to discard the top card of your deck and gain a gold press Latinum. So I'm going to, oh, there's nothing here. So I shuffle these up. This is my discard pile, right? And I add this reserve to the top, like so. Now it's my new deck. But now I have to discard it to my discard pile. And just for reference, the new card I got was the Type 7 Shuttlecraft. That may come in handy later, sending away teams to locations and the like. So that is now in my discard area. But because I did that, I gain a gold press Latinum. And that's great. I'm going to be the richest Starfleet person there is. And that's it for the resupply. There's no other card here with resupply on it. Control. I have a token here, but I need 2 more in order to control Beta Z. So now we move on to actions, and that's where we're at right now. So now we've got our hand of 5 cards. Farpoint Station, I would love to take control of this location. It says you gain a science, and if you have a away team here, draw a card. If you have 3+ total away teams on 1 or more controlled locations, draw a card. So being able to draw more cards is going to be super helpful, I think. I think that's the first thing I do. I'm not even going to look at the other cards. I'm just going to play this for an action and gain a science, take its control action, and that's it. So I now have control of Farpoint Station. Okay. Now to look at my other cards. Now here's the thing. This attack, I do not want... Well, the Halkans aren't around right now, right? The Halkans aren't around, so I could play Worf and it wouldn't be a problem. The Halkans are still in there somewhere. Take an incident and discard it. Discard the top card of your deck. Send 2 away teams to a neutral location. I might actually do that so that I can get 2 there and then immediately take control of Beta Z. I think I'm going to do that. He also has this attack activation, which is more for like attacking another player. So I don't think I'm going to do that. Select a controlled location. I can control, that's a controlled location. If there is 1 or more away teams and 1 more ship there, look at the top 2 encounters. Oh, there we go. I don't think we're ready to do that yet, so I'll wait. But this is a card that will allow me to get those encounters that are really powerful. Diplomacy. Spend a dilithium to draw 2 cards and discard 1 of them and gain 1 influence. That's another good one I'll have to do. Or I can gain an ally and log this card. I'm not ready to do that yet because I don't have the research necessary for the Organians to even play them. Although I could just beam them to the ship with Picard's ability and just be done with it rather than use their abilities. So that's a thought. Take an incident to gain a ship. Don't know if I want to do that. It's a, Vulcan ship there? Plus, I don't want any more incidents right now. Deploy and warp this ship. You may discard a card to gain 1 science. That's not bad. Requires 5 tactical. Deploy and warp this ship. You may send an away team. Activation. If it's on the table, I can activate it. Spend a dilithium to warp it. Discard a card to beam a card here. I don't think I need another ship right now. I think I'm okay with what I've got. So let's go back to Worf. We're going to... so it just says take an incident and discard it. Which it still goes into my discard pile, which sucks. Discard the top card of your deck. Do I have to use Worf? I don't know if I really want to use Worf. I mean, I don't want any incidents, but at the same time, I kind of need to get my away teams over there. That's tempting. Play to gain 2 dilithium. I don't think I need to do that because I've got the Halkans. You know what? Let's gain more stuff. Spend 1 dilithium, draw 2 cards, and discard 1 of them and gain an influence. I'm gonna do that to try and cycle through my deck. So I'm gonna play that for its top effect, which is nothing. Spend 1 dilithium, which I'm gonna do, and draw 2 cards and discard 1 and gain an influence. So 1 influence there. Draw 2 cards and discard 1 of them. So I'm going to discard the Halkan because if you have an attack in play, log this card. I don't want Worf and him to be in like the same thing. I'm going to discard him. So I did that. I gained my influence. Next, set a course. Discard up to 3 people to send the same number of away teams to the same location. There's only one person here, so I can only send one away team to there. I'd rather use Worf to get those away teams over there if I can. Draw a card. Warp up to 2 of your ships. No. All right, let's go and use Worf. Let's keep the game rolling, even if it is probably a bad decision. I'm going to spend an isolinear chip to play him, take an incident, and when I take it, it says take an incident and then discard it. So I'm going to discard it. Discard the top card of your deck. Okay. We're cycling through that pretty quick. Send 2 away teams to a neutral location. All right, well, boom, boom. We're going to do that. All right, so we are now all on Beta Z at the moment. So we played that, and we're done. And that was 2 actions. We've got 1 more left. Select a control location. If there is 1 or more... No, I can't even do this card. Discard up to 3 people. No, draw a card, then discard. I don't know if I like any of these. Take an incident to gain a ship. I could take one at random, I suppose. I mean... I don't want any more incidents. Discard 2 cards to gain a cargo. That's a thought. I could discard these 2 to gain a cargo. And what does the cargo say? Gain 2 Latinum when you play. You may refresh your duty officer, junk a card from the market. Play, spend 1, 2, or 3 Latinum to scan 1, 2, or 3 of person, cargo, or ally. Scanning is like looking at the top so many cards, and then if you paid 2 or more, draw the gain card. Now, scanning, I don't think you actually get to buy it, do you? Scan, new card to the card. Okay. Spend 1 to scan 1, 2, 3. I don't know if that scan means you have to pay, like you get it. Scan just might mean, let's take a look at the word scan. This is what I'm talking about, a lot of keywords. Scan, it doesn't mean get it, I think. I think that just means... like look. Scan. Allows you to look at the top number of cards of the indicated deck and then gain either one of the scan cards or the face-up visible card of this. So I do get it. Then place a selected card either on the top of your draw deck or in your discard pile. Okay, so you can, with this card, gain things, but you have to spend Latinum to do it, it seems like. Luckily, I mean, I can gain Latinum with this and then spend it to gain more cards. That's a possibility. So, do I want to do that? I think I do. Yeah, for my last action, again, this could be a mistake, but you know, that's how it goes. We're going to spend our last action to do the... where is it? Analyze. Discard 2 cards to gain a cargo. So we're going to discard these 2 cards to gain a cargo. Now again, I could take this or I can draw from the top. Drawing from the top is a bit riskier because you don't know what it is. But this card, again, will allow me to gain Latinum and then also then spend it later to get cards from the person deck, the cargo deck, or the ally deck. And I need allies. So this might be good for me. Who knows? But when I gain a cargo, I believe I can put that either on top of my deck or the discard pile. I'm going to put that in the discard pile. I've got 2 cards left. Gain 2. See, if I put that on top, I could get 2 gold press Latinum sooner, which then I could get more cards sooner. So maybe I put this on top of my deck. I think I'm going to do that. Okay, so that's 3 actions. Now, was there anything over here I could have done that I didn't do? I really need to get an away team over here so I can draw more cards. Riker is draw a ship from your discard pile. Oh. I could have done that. Does that shuttle? It does. You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to exhaust Riker to draw a ship from your discard pile. So I now have this card in my hand, this Type 7 shuttlecraft. And there is a play effect on it that doesn't require an action. Gain a dilithium. You then may either beam a card to a ship or recall a card beamed to a ship. Beam a card to a ship. I don't have any cards to beam to a ship. So I'm just going to gain the dilithium and be done with it. So I'm going to gain the dilithium. I'm going to play it for the free effect, and then that's it. Reaction when gaining an ally. I still have the Enterprise, but I want to leave that there. Discard a card to beam a card here. Promote a person to your officer. Spend... No. All right, I think that's it. So with that in mind, we are now out of actions. This should be refreshed. This is a Borg spatial trajectory. Oh, there's a Borg tag. So there are Borg cards in this. Okay. There's no Borg captains, but it looks like Borg are coming if they, you know, that's really cool. Requires force science, though, for the action. If your captain has Borg, that's different. And you have, so this is like a sign of things to come. I'm going to zoom in on that so you folks at home that are interested in this game can actually see that there is Borg stuff coming that's outside of this game. Unless it's in here and I'm just not seeing it yet. So, all right, so that was 3 actions. I'm done. We move on to cleanup. Resolve the Stardate card. So we're going to, again, take... we do this market thing first. Make sure I got that right. During cleanup, wipe 1 card of your choice from the market. Okay, and then do this whole glory thing. So I'm going to pick one of these to get rid of. And as much as no, I need her. She's glory on it. I like the Organians, but at the same time, I'm hoping for better allies. Let's go with a different ship. Because this does have tactical on it, and that's going to limit my choices if I get this ship. So I'm going to get rid of that ship and junk it, and a new one comes out. Oh, sorry, this stopped me in my track. Borg probe. What is this? Deploy and warp this ship when I play it. You may spend an action and a dilithium to gain a person and log the gain card. So I'm assimilating people? Is that what I'm doing? If your captain has Borg, assimilate it instead. Interesting. That's interesting. Okay, this could turn into Locutus at some point. Who knows? All right, now I got to assign one of these glory tokens. Out of all of these, I do want allies. So I'm going to put one over there as well. So I probably should have put that. I don't know. Let's just leave it at that. So we're going to clean up now. Place glory, discard and draw. If I had any cards in my hand, I could have kept some of them if I wanted to, but I'm trying to cycle through this. Now I get discard and draw. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to shuffle these cards together. Isn't that high tech? Exactly the way Data would have done it. And we add a reserve card there. And then we need 2 more. 1, 2. Okay. We are now on to round 3. And this refreshes. And this refreshes. Okay. Let's see what we got. Red alert. Put a card on top of your deck to return this card. You may promote a person to the staging area. Oh, Beverly Crusher. Okay. I might consider... Oh, I forgot the resupply stuff. Let's do the resupply first. Discard the top card of your deck and gain a Latinum. I'm going to do that. Gain a Latinum. That was the resupply. Control. Okay, let's do the control thing. We have 3 tokens here, and we have at least 2 more than my opponent, which he has 1 there. So I get Beta Z and take it under control, and when I do, I get 2 Latinum. So this is now a permanent resident in my tableau, at least for now. And my ship, from my understanding of the rules, this is now kind of like goes into my discard pile. And I will get this back later when I get there. But away teams go away as well. New location comes out. It is Ryza. Okay, Ryza. All right, so now we are into our actions, and we are without a ship. Luckily, we have Riker, and I feel like just doing this now. Free play a ship with Starfleet. or draw a ship from your discard pile. I think we do that. So I'm going to exhaust him to free play a ship from my discard pile. Now when it says free play, deploy this ship, warp this. Yeah, so I can put this into my play area for free per his card. Oh no, draw a ship. Okay, let me step back and see what that means. He has two abilities here. Free play a ship with Starfleet and draw a ship from your discard pile. When you free play, that means it's in your hand already, so I can't do that. Draw a ship. I can draw it into my hand. I would have to find a way to refresh him in order to do that again. I am going to use him to just draw the Enterprise from my discard pile. I'm going to do that. Put it in my hand. Okay. And if I have to spend an action later, fine. But if there's a way to refresh him and then use his other ability to free play it, then I would be happy to do that. But for right now, we're going to exhaust him and do that. I would love to get an away team over here, but I have no way to do that. Let's take a look at my cards. Gain 2 Latinum. You may refresh your duty. Oh, there we go. There we go. I think we do that right now. We're going to do that. Gain 2 Latinum. And we are going to refresh your duty officer. So this goes back. Junk a card from the market. Which card? Let's get rid of the Borg probe for now. And this is a Voth research vessel. Okay. Okay, so we played that for an action, the top one anyway. So that's down there in the staging area. And we've got 2 more actions. Riker is now available again. Let's go ahead and free play a ship with Starfleet. So normally it would cost an isolinear chip to play this card, but he's going to allow us to free play it. Warp this ship or beam a card here. So I'm going to deploy it and then warp it somewhere. The question is, I kind of want to warp that ship. I want to warp the Enterprise here to get an away team down there so I can start drawing a card for an activation. It's a free activation. So I'm going to put it there for now to try and get an away team over there, if that's even a thing. And now he is he's exhausted again. He pulled a double shift. And we played it deploy, but we still haven't done the activation. So spend a dilithium to warp it, discard a card to beam a card here, promote a person. All right, none of those appeal to me right now. Put a card on top of your deck to return this card. You may promote a person from your staging area. So if I play Beverly Crusher, I don't have, I want to keep Beverly Crusher so I can get rid of this incident if I can. Beverly Crusher says, gain 1 science. You may return an incident from your discard pile. That's good. Put a card on top of your deck to return this card. You may promote an officer. I don't have to promote, but I'm just going to do that. Put a card on top of your deck. Gain 1 science, you may return an incident. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to return Beverly Crusher to the top of my deck and return this card. You may promote, and I have to spend an action to do it. I may promote a person, but I'm not going to. So this goes back underneath here. I need to get rid of these incidents. And that was my second action. For my last action, it's going to be one of these 2, unless I can play this one too. Draw a card, then discard, warp up to 2. Or discard up to 3 people. I don't have any. Put a card on top of your deck to gain a person, which I could do that there. Or I can gain an ally. Why did I do that? Was she good for something? Spend a dilithium to gain science. That's what I was going to do, I think. Duplicate a resupply operation you've already resolved this turn. I could duplicate Rikers and just consistently discard cards and cycle through things faster. I think I do that. So I am going to put a card on the top of my deck to gain a person. So I'm going to spend an action to put a card, this one, on top of my deck, and I gain a person. And when I gain it, I can put it into my discard or the top of my deck. So I'm going to get a glory for gaining this person. And when I gain this, what do I want? Do I want to do it immediately? I think I do use her immediately. But the problem is she needs to be deployed in order to make use of this resupply. I can't do Rikers twice because I can only have one duty officer at a time. But using her ability to gain science is going to be helpful in moving me up that track. I can also, I could, whatever. Let's just do. I'm going to put her in my discard for now, and that'll be that. Okay, so that was my third action. Again, maybe not the best choice, but we did what we did, right? Okay, so during the cleanup, we resolve the Stardate card. We get a new person. This is, Moogie. Rom. You may spend 1 Latinum to scan 2 cargo. You may spend 1 Latinum to free play a cargo from your hand or discard pile. He could be useful for that 1 holodeck or holosuite card I've got. Okay. Interesting. I don't know if I really want to do that. I want to focus on allies and getting this mission done if I can. Okay. So we junked a card. Oh no, that was to replace that. We still have to junk a card and then put a glory out. Let's junk this Voth vessel and put a new one out. The Enterprise C, that's definitely one I want. Just because it's the Enterprise C. Yesterday's Enterprise, awesome episode. And then I put a glory on something. I'm going to put it on the Organians again because I know I need allies in order to complete that. So that is done. So we have discarded. We're going to discard now, and then we're going to draw 5. 1, 2, 3. I feel like I'm getting more cards than I should. I need to keep this deck lean, but I'm really not. That refreshes. That's fine. And we've got 5 cards. This refreshes. Okay. We are now on round whatever it is. We've got round 3. Okay, round 3. We resupply. Discard the top card of your deck and gain a Latinum. So I'm going to discard that to gain a Latinum. I've got 5 Latinum now. And control. There's nothing to control. Actions. Okay, so now we use our 3 actions again. I really need to get an away team over there. We've got the Halkins. We've got this red alert. Put a card on top of your deck to return this card. What if I... Reaction. You... Taking an incident, discard a different card to return. That's not terrible. I kind of like her duty officer ability down there, that reaction. And I can use her to just play her. You may return an incident from your discard pile. So I need to get this into my discard pile. So I need to find a way to discard this so then I can use her to get rid of it, right? So is there a way to discard cards? Gain a specialty track? No. The Halkins, I think I'm just going to play him now, get it out of the way. It's a free play one. There's no ability here. So 3 dilithium, 1, 2, 3. I feel like I'm getting resources over here, but like I'm not spending it on anything. So I'm a little worried. I'm saving up for these developments, but maybe I'm going a little bit overboard with that. Discard up to 3 people to send the same number of away teams to the same location. Draw a card, discard a card, warp up to 2 of your ships. Can I do that and stay there? Or is that required? I don't know if it's required to warp the ship. It just says warp up to 2 of your ships. You know what? Let's do it because I want to get rid of this. So I'm going to free play that. It says draw a card, then discard a card. So I'm going to draw a card, then discard a card. Okay. And then warp up to 2 of your ships. I'm assuming I can ignore that if I want to, because I want to keep that there to try and get an away team there, because I could have sworn there was a card that let me do it. I could be wrong about it, but does he? No. There's nothing there. Yeah, I don't see anything yet that allows me to get an away team from my ship to somewhere, but maybe... Okay, so I did that, and now I'm going to stay there. I'm not going to warp. And then I'm going to play Beverly Crusher for an action. This says gain a science. So I'm up to 3 now on the science track. You may return an incident from your discard pile. So I'm going to return this incident. And now I should be incident free at this point. This is the incident deck, yeah. I am now incident free, which is good. But I still have 2 more actions. Gain an ally and log this card. But I kind of like the influence, unless there's another way to get it. I do have Beta Z, so maybe at some point I'll get influence from that. So let's go ahead and gain an ally and log this card. So I'm going to spend an action to gain an ally, which I'm going to gain the Organians, and I'm going to get this glory. Now here's the thing. I'm going to use Picard's reaction to, although I almost have 4 science, I'm tempted to keep this to enlist, although I'm almost out of reserves. 6, no, I'm gonna go ahead and use Picard's reaction. After gaining an ally, discard a card to gain 1 glory, and you may beam it to a ship. But I don't have any cards left to discard, really. So maybe I do keep this for now, and then I'll beam it to a ship later. Because I can always use, I think, the Enterprise's activation. Discard a card to beam a card here. I can do that later. So I'm going to put the Organians in my discard pile for now. And then a new ally comes out. That is, looks like a Suliban. Yeah, Suliban from Enterprise. Okay. So I played that one. Now it says I have to log this card. So it is no longer usable. It will be worth points at the end of the game, maybe, depending on whatever. And then I've got one more action, and I think I do gain 1 specialty track for each matching skill icon you have in play, excluding beamed cards. So here's the thing. I'm going to choose influence because I have 1, 2, 3, 4 influence. So I'm going to go 4 up this track, and now I'm on 5. And that's going to cost me my last action to do that. Okay. And that goes in my staging area. I'm out of actions. Can Riker free play do anything? Draw a ship from your discard pile. Do I have any ships in my discard pile? I do not. Okay. Nope. Nope. I could discard a card to beam a card here. No. No, okay. I don't think there's anything I can do remaining on that. So to clean up, we're going to resolve the starting card. We're going to junk something. I feel like cargo is not the route I want to go. So I'm going to get rid of Rom, unfortunately. And we have Riva in his place. He's that mute, I think. Maybe the deaf mute. You may log an attack from your hand or discard to gain a glory. Okay. I mean, it's not great. But I'm going to do that, and I'm going to we need allies, and I'll probably beam this one right to the ship at some point. You may discard a card to recall another non-time travel card from your staging area. So you can pretty much, this card lets you play cards twice at the cost of an action. You may duplicate a play operation of an ally from the market. Oh, interesting. He's also variable victory points, and this is dependent on how much influence you have. So whatever multiplier I'm at. I'm on ×2 right here, and the next is ×3. So that's not bad. I think I will put a glory on him. Let's do that. Okay, so we're on round 4 now. Let's go ahead and clean everything up there. It goes into the discard, and we draw 1, 2. Top card from the reserve on top, and then it's 3, 4, 5. Okay, slowly but surely we're getting somewhere. We're going to refresh these. Okay, and let's hope I can get an away team there at some point. Okay, so first we do the resupply. It says discard the top card of your deck to gain a Latinum. Okay, fine. Control, nothing to control. And then now actions. Type 7 shuttle. Send a away team to a location where you have a ship. That's what I was remembering. Okay, we're going to do that. We're going to use an action and take an away team, put it there on Farpoint Station. Okay. You may put this card on top of your deck. I'm tempted to only to keep getting things seeded over there onto one of those other locations if I can. You know, I'm going to put this in my discard for right now. I can use Riker's ability to then draw a ship with Starfleet from my discard because he's really not doing it much else right now. But look at the elite crew I've got going on here. What do I do with all this? I've got the Organians data. Just gain a science. I could do that, and then I would have enough to enlist a reserve. But I don't think I need to because I'm gonna get it soon anyway. I don't know. Worf is take an incident and discard it. Discard the top card of your deck to send to. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Do I want more? Oh, gain a science. You may then. Ooh. What if I use Worf to take an incident and discard it, and then I use Beverly to get rid of it? That could be a good combo there. I think we will do that. I'm going to spend an action to take an incident and discard it. Okay. Discard the top card of your deck and send 2 away teams to a neutral location. So I'm going to send, out of all of these, Ryza is all about getting Latinum. So you beam people here, and then you take them back and you get Latinum. Okay, that's okay. I'd rather have, you may gain a person. If it is a scientist or engineer, gain a glory. After putting an encounter into play, gain 1 science. When I log this card from your hand, I'm going to go with this one anyway for its science tag, because why not? So with Worf, take an incident, discard it. Discard the top card did. Send 2 away teams. I'm going to go after Amargosa Observatory there. And I played him for my second action. And I think now I'm going to play Beverly Crusher to gain a science, which I'm now up to 4. And I've got this condition done. I just need allies onto the ship now. And it says you may return an incident from your discard pile. So there is that gone. That incident, by the way, was this. I'm not going to read it because I'm trying to keep the video moving, but that's what was on there in case you're interested. But we are going to return it per her. And that was our last action. But here's the thing, that we have data and we have these guys. I don't think I worry too much about this for right now. I'm not going to keep it. Again, I can discard these or I can keep it. He's okay, simply because like I can gain science, influence, but I don't think I need to do that right now. I've got everything I need to complete that mission. But if I want more points, I need to keep pushing these up. As a duty officer, log a card from your hand. If you do, gain... for every, so the more cards I've logged, the more points, the more I can move these up the track. Okay, he's not bad, but I think I'm gonna get rid of these. So I have these in my hand, but I'm not gonna use them. And again, we're cleaning up right now. So resolve the star date. So I'm gonna junk one of these. I'm gonna junk Reva. Waxana Troy. Refresh your captain or your duty officer. Spend 1 Latinum to gain 2 influence. That could be useful if I want to get more points that way. Requires 6 influence. After putting a person into play, draw a card. That's if she's my duty officer. That's the only time that reaction would come into play, as far as I'm aware. So, it's tempting, but I don't want to fatten my deck up either. And then I get to put a glory. I want to put a glory on the Suliban over there. Oh, not from there. From here. Now it says, now that we're out, it says at the beginning of your next cleanup step, wipe the market, removing all tokens and any neutral locations with no tokens present. Okay, so I need to keep this like nearby to remind myself. We are now going to fill this up with 5 tokens from the supply. 1, 2, so we're halfway done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's 5. Yep. All right, so we resolve the star date. We're going to do that on our next cleanup step. So the next round 6. So I'm going to keep that nearby as a reminder. And we did the resolve star date, place glory, which we did. We did it on this, put it on the Suliban, discard and draw. So we're going to get rid of these, and then we're going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And that ends that round. Moving on to round 6. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here. We're going to resupply. Discard the top card of your deck and gain a Latinum. I might as well do it just so I can keep the Latinum coming. I really want to start getting those cards if I can. And that's it for resupply. There's no other resupply activation that I can see. And then control. I need to get my ship. Oh, I should have done that. All right, I'm going to retcon it. On the last turn, I could have activated this to warp my ship there, and I had to spend a dilithium. So I retconned it. I should have moved the Enterprise before ending my last turn. So, and it was fine to do that. So I'm going to retcon it and do that. Now we come to control, and now that we've got enough tokens there, these all come back. This goes into the discard pile, and I get control of this location. So I now have access to this observatory. And when I gain control of it, you may gain a person. If it is a scientist or engineer, gain a glory. I don't believe Waxana is a scientist, or no, she's not. I could just take it from the top of the deck and hope for the best, but refreshing my captain or duty officer, I mean, it's just a reaction there. Play, spend a Latinum to gain 2 influence. Requires after putting a person in play. Nah, I don't know about her. I mean, refreshing my duty officer is kind of nice, but she's only worth 1 point. You know what? I'm going to take a risk and just I'm going to draw the top card from here just to see what it is. You may gain a person. Phlox. Okay. All right. Return an incident from your hand. Requires 6 science. Return any number of incidents from your hand. You may return an incident from your discard pile. Beam this card to a deployed ship if able. After sending an away team to a neutral location, spend a Latinum to gain a science. It's not bad. It's not great either. I don't know when I'll play him. I could try and log him later for a point. But the ability to log more of these incidents might be a good thing. We forgot to put a thing out. Durna. All right, so that's that. So I gained him, and I'm going to put him into my discard pile because I don't think I'm going to use him. Okay, let's see. So now we've got these cards to mess around with. We did the resupply. We did the control thing. Okay, do we use Riker to, or no, I should have picked her so I could refresh him. I should have done that, but I didn't. I'm going to use him to, well, what about the shuttlecraft? To a location, I don't even have a ship, so it doesn't even matter. So I need to use Riker's ability to get a ship back into my hand. So I'm going to do that. Okay. And let's see. Deploy this ship. I want to see if there's a way to free play it, if I can refresh him somehow. Again, I should have taken Waxana Troy to do that, but I wasn't thinking. Take an incident to gain a ship. Discard 2 cards. I don't know if I really want to do that. Put a card on top of your deck to gain a person. I could gain her, and again, gaining means top of your draw. I won't get her this turn. I'd have to draw her. She'd still be in my discard pile, so it wouldn't matter. Holosuite. I could scan for people, cargoes, or allies. If you pay 2 or more, draw the gained card. Interesting. So I think what I am going to do is utilize this so I can get the Suliban, just to see what I can do with it. And what I will do, I mean, I'm supposed to scan. I'm going to spend 2 Latinum to scan the top 2 cards. 1, 2. Tholians and Lethians. You may draw a card, gain a Latinum, and 2 dilithium for each control location you have in play. Log this card. I need to get these people onto ships, though. So I think what I am going to do is I'm going to keep that one there, maybe. Well, if I scan these, can I still take from here is the question. Do I have to take that one? Can I scan anyway and then choose to take that? That scan is going to screw me up. Top number of cards and choose either one of the scan cards or the face-up visible card of the same suit. So I can scan these and still take that if I choose to, which I am going to do for now. Because it has glory on it, and I do want glory. So, kind of lost what I was doing. Spend 1, 2, or 3 Latinum. I spent my 2 Latinum to scan 1, 2, or 3 cards of person, cargo, or ally. I did ally. If you paid 2 or more, draw the gain card. I'm going to draw the gain card. Now, here's the thing. Do I want to use Picard's reaction to get it onto a ship? Well, I don't have a ship. So, pointless at this point. Okay, so I gain this 2 glory, and the next card is the Lethian. You may discard a card to recall another non-time travel card from your staging area. You may duplicate a play operation of an ally from the market. I could duplicate. I don't think I want to duplicate that. So maybe I do use his reaction. Discard a card to... Oh, I can't. I don't have a ship. Oh, darn it. Let's get the Enterprise. The thing is... Okay, so what I should have done first, before playing... all right, so I kind of got my... Instead of playing this one to my staging area first, I should have spent an action to play the Enterprise. So I'm going to spend an action to play the Enterprise first. And I can warp this ship somewhere. I'm going to warp it to Derna because why not? I don't know what it is, but you may spend 2 dilithium to scan for either weapon or doctor. Draw a card. 2 points for each weapon beamed here? No, I'm not doing that. Maybe I'll go to... None of these locations are interesting. Find up to 3 people, except in your reserve deck, and beam them here when I control it. I don't like any of these, to be honest with you. Let's go to Delta Vega, because unless... Yeah, I'm just going to go to Delta Vega. But the fact that I've got that out now, I spend an action to do that first. Then I play this. And now I can scan and then use Picard's ability to then discard a card to then beam that ally there. So slightly out of order, apologies. I am going to discard to gain a person. Analyze. Take an incident to gain a ship. Discard 2 cards to gain a cargo. No, I'm gonna just discard. I don't know which one I don't want. Spend. Oh. No. You know what? I'm gonna move. I'm at ends. I was thinking about. I'm getting my things confused, but like, if you pay 2 or more, draw the gain card. Do I want to use the... Okay, I did that. Okay. Did I want the Enterprise to go here or here? If I put the Enterprise there, I could beam an away team there. And then I was thinking about this Strange New Worlds thing. Select a controlled location. If there is a ship and a person there, look at the top 2 encounters. Take one of them and return the other to the bottom of the stack. Log the selected card. Log the selected location. Interesting. But if I log the card while it's there, the ship goes away and then I lose the ally on it. So maybe I do keep it here for now. Oh, no, because once I take control of a location, then I'm just going to leave it. If I take control of a location, anyone beamed on my ship also goes away. So I need to start getting allies on there and leave the Enterprise alone. Maybe another ship would be good. So I'm a little flustered now. I forgot what I was even trying to do. But we did this for an action. We deployed the Enterprise for an action. We did this as our second action, and we scanned. We took the Suliban, put him under there per Picard's reaction, which we're exhausting him now. And we have a third action we could do. Now we do have Farpoint. If you have an away team here, draw a card. If you have 3 away teams total on 1 or more controlled locations, gain a card. I think I will, whatever, we'll do that later. So I'm going to do that, and I'm just going to draw a card. I don't have any cards, so I am going to then shuffle this. This is like, so many things chain off each other. This is my last reserve, and it says to draw a card. First contact directive, scan 2 of ally, log this card. I feel like doing that right now just to get the allies onto the ship. I feel like I do that. Oh, he's exhausted, so I can't scan 2 of ally, log this card. I need to refresh him so I can then immediately do that. Although the Enterprise hasn't activated yet, so I could discard a card to beam a card here. I think I will do that. So I'm going to play draw ship. Although the ship, the Enterprise C, that would help me get things done. You may beam a card here. I'm tempted to take a second ship with that 1 card, but I don't want an incident, and I have no doctor right now to get rid of it. There's so many decisions to be made here. All right, let's do this. I'm going to spend my last action to scan 2 allies and then log this card. And when I scan it, it will go into... it doesn't go into my deck. It goes new card from market to top of your draw deck or your discard pile. Okay, so it's going to go into the top of my deck because... what was I doing? Oh, Jesus, there's just so much going on. Scan 2 cards and log this card. Because I need to refresh him. Or do I? I don't need to. I'm going to put it on top. Okay, so I'm going to scan 2. 1, 2. Boy, I'm all over the place. Okay. Emerald Chain? I don't know who that is. Weird. Attack. I don't know if I really want an attack card in play, considering the Halkins are around. So the Tholians it is. I'm going to scan it. It says I can take one of them, and the other one is put to the bottom of the deck, I believe it was. And I don't have Picard's ability, but I can put that there. And it says to log this card. So this goes behind Picard. Okay. All right. And again, just to confirm that scan thing, it just allows you to look at the top number of cards, gain either one of the scan cards or the face-up visible card of the same suit. So yeah, when you scan, you do get to take it. Okay. It's just that one ability let me draw it, I think is the difference there. Okay. So that was all 3. Now, is there any abilities that I haven't used that I may want to use? When I deployed this, or I can still use this. I should have put that here maybe. When I deployed this, I decided to put that here. I'm going to go ahead and put it here because I want to kind of try and get an away team here, or maybe 2, so that I can play that other card I've got. So I'm going to retcon it and say that I had my ship there when I deployed it. It didn't affect anything gameplay-wise, but I'm just going to do that. Okay, and then I'm out of things unless there's... I can play Analyze for free for 2 dilithium. 1, 2... spend a dilithium to gain a science or tactical. I'm just going to, free play her, because why not? I'm going to spend a dilithium to gain a science. I'm up to 5. And none of these... this Strange New World is what I'm trying to get to. If there are 1 away team and 1 ship there, look at the top 2 encounters and take... So I'm trying to, I want to get rid of a location I don't want or don't need right now. So I could get rid of Beta Z with that card. I just have to be careful about the order in which I do it. But all of these require action, so I really can't do much else. So I'm going to discard these as well. Okay, so we're in the cleanup step. And we resolve the Stardate thing. Let's junk this ally, because it has the attack on it. I don't want that. All right. And we're going to add a glory token to... Oh, at the beginning, we need to do this first. At the beginning of your next cleanup step, wipe the market. Oh, so we should have done that first. Okay, at the beginning of the cleanup step, wipe the market, removing all tokens and any neutral locations with no tokens present. So none of these have tokens on it. These all get wiped. So these are gone. 1, 2, 3. Is that D7? Yeah, K7. Interesting. That was from Trouble Tribbles. And then it says to wipe the market as well, removing all tokens. So all of these go away as well. So we're going to junk all of that, and new cards come out, which is a shame because I really wanted the Enterprise C, but I completely forgot about that. But hey, if I want a Continga battle cruiser, there's that. More advanced version of the D7, I think. All right, Harry Mudd. That must be from Discovery because that's not him. Okay, so we did this. Only take tokens from here during cleanup step. Yeah, we did that. Okay, so I'm going to put that off to the side for now. And I have to resolve the rest of the cleanup, which is place glory. So I'm going to put a glory on the ally because I need more allies. And discard and draw. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if I'm like doing well or not. I can't tell. I really can't tell at this point. All right, those are refreshed. And resupply for the next round. Discard the top card to gain... discard the top card of your deck to gain a Latinum. I've got enough Latinum, I think. Do I really need more? I want to cycle through this to get one of those, I think. So I am going to discard, of course. It's the Type 7 shuttlecraft that I needed to get away teams down. So, yeah, we're going to do that. Fine. But I do get a Latinum for that. But I can use him to then draw a ship from your discard pile. So I am going to draw the ship from my discard pile and be done with it. Yeah, there's nothing else in here. Okay. And that was an activation for him. There was no control, by the way, so I skipped that step. Okay, so what do we got? What do we got? Return an incident from your hand. Gain... Date is kind of useless to me right now. I don't need to push these up anymore. I need to get allies onto the ship. Maybe I do this then. I have this activation on the Enterprise. Discard a card to beam a card here. So I am going to discard data to then beam this Tholian there. And that counts as my activation with the Enterprise. So I got 2 allies on the ship. I need a third in order to complete that mission. Phlox, return an incident. This would be good if I want to get incidents right now. Send an away team to a location where you have a ship. I think I may want to do that. Discard up to 3 people to send the same number of away teams to... Same thing. Draw a card, discard, warp up to 2 of your ships. Phlox, utilize, gain. I think I do utilize again, but do I really need to push my influence that far? Maybe I get my influence high up there and then I get rid of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I would need to do that twice to get it past this mark. But it would get it to this mark, which is ×3. So maybe that's as good as I do. I haven't spent an action yet. I can, if you have an away team here, draw a card. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. Exhaust that. Reaction. After putting an encounter into play. No. Okay. So much to really think about as I do all this. Take an incident and discard it. But it says to discard it, not put it in my hand. And that's bad. Discard the top 2 cards of your deck. Send 2 away teams. I don't know if I really want another neutral location. Unless I get an... Put a directive... What if I control a location and keep Ryza around for a while? Like maybe I try to get another location done. That might be something to think about. Like I want to do it like a gazillion things, but I don't have the ability to do that. I want to get an away team here, at least, because there was a card that said away teams on controlled locations. So maybe I play this one, Send an away team to a location where you have a ship. You may put this card on top of your deck. So I'm going to play that and put an away team here on Beta Z. And I know there's probably a method to this madness. It's not clicking for me yet. Do I want to put this on top of my deck? I want to cycle through these so I can get to these, I think. So that's good. Although if I put it on top of my deck, I may be able to redraw it later. So I am going to do that. Yeah, I think I will do that for now. Because is there anything that lets me draw cards? Draw a card, then discard. Warp up to... I'm going to do that. So for free, I'm going to draw a card and then discard a card. Warp up to 2 of my ships. I'm going to draw this that I just put back. And then discard a card. And then warp 2. So what I'm going to discard Wharf, I think. Because I don't want any incidents. Although... I just don't have enough actions, unfortunately, to deal with that. Yeah, so I'm going to discard Wharf, I think. I'm going to discard Wharf. No, I'm just going to discard Phlox because like I'm not using him. I'm not using him right now. I'm going to discard Phlox. Okay, and then I said I can warp up to 2 of my ships. I'm going to warp the Enterprise to K7 to try and take control of that, if I can. Control. Take an incident, put it on the bottom of your draw deck. This is 10 points? 10 points. You know what? I've got ways to deal with that. What if I... but I want to get rid of a location, though. What if I get rid of Farpoint Station at some point? Just get rid of it. It's worth no points. It's worth no points. And toward the end of the game, I could get rid of it. I think... Let's do that. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna warp my ship to that location instead, and yeah, I think 10 points is 10 points, and incidents, I've got 2 doctors that can take care of incidents, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. So that was a free action, and I had my shuttle, which I played. That's where this came from. Now what I could do is I could play this again to get an away team on that location. Although Wharf is take an incident and discard it. I think I do that. So it's just better than the shuttle. So take an incident and discard it. All right, and discard it. And then discard the top card of your deck. Beverly Crusher. Send 2 away team to a neutral location. Yeah, I'm going to send 2 away team there. And we will control that on our next round. And that was another action. We've got one more action to do. I really need allies if I can get them. I need to beam it to the Enterprise, but I don't think I can do that. Gain a dilithium. You may either beam a card to a ship or recall a card. Okay, no, I don't think we're going to do that. We don't need any more... We don't need to use this, so it's going to be one of these. Gain 1... No, let's do this. Gain 1 specialty track thing for each matching skill. I'm going to do that. So for my last action, I play this card. Gain 1 specialty track thing for each matching skill. I'm going to do the yellow ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4. So this is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm now on the time past the times 3. So I'm going to be assuming I complete this mission. I will also score any cards with that yellow thing on the bottom right. So I'm going to look out for those as well. So, okay. I played that one. I have this. I could play it for free. Gain a dilithium. Beam a card to a ship or recall a card beamed to a ship. I may either. So I'm just going to play it for free to gain a dilithium. Because that may either. May means I don't have to. So I think we're good with that. It wasn't a terrible round. It could have been better. But yeah, we've got away teams out there. We're about to take control of a location. We're going to now resupply or resolve the Stardate card. We're going to junk one of these. Let's get rid of... As much as I like the Katinga, we're not going to use it. So we're going to try a different ship. The Reliant, another Starfleet ship. Okay, all right, that's good. And if I have 5 influence, If your opponent has most one ship deploy. My opponent has one of everything for the purposes of this mode. Deploy this ship, then choose two of the following. Send an away team to a location or draw a card. I think I might want to go after this ship since I've got the influence to do it. That's not terrible. Okay, let's keep that in the back of our mind. And then we're going to put a token on the ally, because we are for sure going after that. Then we're going to discard all of these. Okay, and I think, and we draw. 1, 2. Now here comes the part where we can choose one of these to buy. The question is, which of these cards are going to be the best? I can find a ship with LaForge. The Bozeman. Okay. Deploy this. Requires 6 science. Make it so. Return an incident from your hand. I already got doctors that can do that. Requires 4 influence. Select a secured neutral location. Take control of it. Log this card. Okay. Not terrible. I want something with yellow on the bottom right if I can. There's one. Phasing Cloak. Deploy this card. Junk a card from the market. Free play a ship. That's good. You may ignore all opponent ships when sending away teams to neutral locations. I like it for the bottom right tag there. Daystrom is 1 point. Score 1 point for each of your synthetic cards. I don't have any aside from data probably. Starbase 74. Take control of this location. Find a person. It also has that yellow down there. You may have an additional person on duty. I want this card just for a second duty officer. And it has that yellow. I'm going to do it. I'm sure maybe there was some better things in here, but having a starbase and that's kind of cool. Okay, that's really cool. So I'm gonna take control. I'm gonna get this for 2 dilithium and 1 latinum, and that goes on top of my shuffled discard pile is now my new. Okay. 3, 4, 5. Cool. Resupply. It goes away. These refresh. Now here's the thing. I don't think I need his ability. I've got a lot of gold press latinum and I don't want to lose cards, but I also want to get more out of here if I can. So I think I am going to use this resupply. Discard the top card. Shuttlecraft, because of course it is. Of course it's the shuttlecraft. In order to gain a latinum. Okay. And then take control of something. We are going to take control of this location, and it says take an incident and put it on the bottom of your draw deck. So we are going to get an incident for this, but it is a location that's going to be worth a lot of points. 10 points, that's really good. And I'm going to have to move stuff around here if I'm going to make this work. How are we going to do this? Maybe if I move this over to the left a little bit, and this gives us more room. And you guys may not be able to see this as well, but it'll give me more room to put crap down. The Enterprise should be refreshed at this point. All right, there we go. 10 points is 10 points is 10 points. I'm just saying that's not bad. I like how my table started off all nice and neat, and now it's like it's a complete and utter disaster. It's a freaking nightmare. We get a new location there. Okay. And I think that's it for controlling. Now we have those actions. Now we did take control of that. Oh no. I forgot about the third ally thing. I should not have taken control of I'll just have to redo it. Oh, that hurts. That hurts so much. I forgot about the whole ally thing. I'm an idiot. That's okay. It's our first game. It's going to happen. But now I got to get those allies back over here somewhere or somehow. But I think it was worth it. 10 points. I mean, I thought it was worth it. Okay. We really need to get that done before the end of the game. Because if we don't complete this, then any multipliers from this do not take into effect. So it's very important to get that done. Okay. So we've got our actions. Let's play Far Point right away just to draw a card because we need to get that done. There's Worf. Okay. Halkins to gain dilithium. At this point, I don't think I need more locations, but Ooh, that might be worth pursuing. Getting Worf to get the Enterprise over there once I get it back. I'm going to use Riker's ability to get my card out of a ship with Starfleet out of my discard pile. So I'm going to do that. Draw a ship from your discard pile. So now I've got the D. And is there a way to free play them? I don't know. If I had one more science, I could enlist another development and then log this. But I need the Organians in order to possibly get on a ship. Okay, Starbase. I feel like getting this done. Utilize. Gain one specialty track. There's so many things I want to do. Okay. Is there any incidents in my discard pile? There is not. Okay. If there was an incident in my discard pile, I could use her to get rid of it. I feel like getting the Enterprise out there. We need to get these allies under control. Like, we need to get them off the ship. So I feel like I have to, as much as I don't want to, I kind of have to spend an action to deploy the Enterprise. So I'm going to deploy the Enterprise with my first action. And I can warp it somewhere. I'm going to put it over here to try and get an away team onto that. I think that's the best play. All right, that was one action. And that was just deployed this ship, but I haven't used an activation yet. I could discard a card to beam a card here. So I could discard one of these cards to then beam a card. I don't think I'm going to use Worf right now to take any more things. So I'm going to discard Worf to then beam a card onto here. And I'm going to do the Organians as a beam. And that was that one action? Or that was, what did I use to do that? That was just the Enterprise's activation. So that was not an action. You may gain a person. That's okay. After getting an encounter so I'm only going to look at this card when I get an encounter into play. So that's going to come later, I think. Already activated that. Nothing to activate there. You may gain a science. You gain a science, return an incident from your discard pile. Nice, but I don't. I want to get Starbase out here. Okay, I think we do that just because it's so cool. Take control of this location. Find a person. You may discard a different card to free play the found card. Okay, well, let's take that one step at a time. I'm going to spend that to get this out here. Control, find a person. And when I find a person, I believe that's something I have, like I own. Like I can look at my draw pile, discard pile, find. There we go. Look through your hand, discard pile, and draw and reserve decks until you find a card you want. Okay, so I just need to look through everything I've got. Find it. Just find a person that I have, anywhere it might be. And then you may discard a different card to free play the found card. So is there something that I can find? What would I free play if I were to find a person? Is there a person in here I could possibly free play? Return an incident from your hand? No. Data? No. Laris. Spend an influence to gain sign. Okay. I don't want to do any of these, to be honest with you. I may have to shuffle that if I look through that. Okay. Maybe I find... I'm going to use Beverly Crusher here as a free play. So that card, I took control of it. I found her in my hand. And it says I can discard another card to then free play her. I'm going to discard the Halkins because I don't need any more dilithium right now. So I'm going to discard the Halkins and free play her to gain a science, which isn't terrible. And then I've got one more action left. Passive. You may have an additional person on duty. So I don't have a way to promote her or anything. So I'll have to wait on promoting another duty officer. with this last card, gain 1 specialty track. I feel like just doing that. So yeah, I'm going to spend my last thing. And do I pick yellow or do I pick... Yeah, I think I go hard on yellow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 yellow. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm maxed out on yellow. So that's a times 7 multiplier for however many yellow cards I have times 7. I think that's going to be significant at the game's end if I can get the freaking allies on that ship. Now for the cleanup step, we're going to, let's see, resolve star date. Scared of Harry Mudd. And we've got the peanut hamper. Now, I know them as exocomp, so I'm guessing this is from like Lower Decks or something, and the name of this thing is peanut hamper, I'm guessing. So there's that. And we are now going to add, there's only 2 left after this. We'll get that ally going there. We are going to discard all of them. Yep, and draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our deck is getting a little thick, and that concerns me. Let's go ahead and get those out of there. And let's refresh those. And at this point, I feel like I've got enough Latinum to where I don't need to use Riker's reaction anymore. I'm kind of concerned about going too hard and losing a good card I might want or need. So I'm going to not use his resupply action. Maybe that's a mistake, but I feel like I need to use whatever card that might be. I don't know what it is. Okay, so with our actions, again, I'm going to use the Farpoint Station. Oh, if you have 3 total away teams on one more, that's what I was looking at. I can draw a second card if I get another away team out there somewhere. So I'm going to wait on that until maybe I can get an away team over here. So let's see what I got. Oh, okay. I feel like I just saw data from somewhere. Select a controlled location. If there is 1 crew and 1 ship there, look at the top 2 encounters. Maybe this is where we part ways with Farpoint Station just to get this done. Take one of them and return the other to the bottom of its deck. Log the selected location to gain a sign. You know what? I think we do it. So to do that, I'm going to use the Enterprise, spend a dilithium to warp the ship. I was going to put an away team here, but I don't think I can right now. Is there anything that lets me put an away team down? I mean, promote. I could promote Phlox as my second duty officer with it. After sending an away team to a neutral location, no, that's not going to... yeah, I have no way to get... No, but see, here's the thing. If I do that and then play that, the Enterprise goes away again. Right? I need to get the ally. I might have to just suck it up and do it again. I'm wasting actions trying to get... But I feel like I need to do that. Maybe I'll wait closer to the end of the game. My concern is this card may not come up again. Strange New Worlds. Because now that my deck is fairly thick, I need to get... Yeah, I need to do this while I can. That is such... Oh my gosh, that bothers me. I'm going to use this ability first. Because I don't think we're getting an away team on there. We're going to use this ability first. And that says... or this ability. I get to just draw a card. If I have an away team here. So I'm just going to draw this card. Okay. So I used the ability. Discard up to 3 people to send the same number of away teams to a location. Draw a card, then discard. Warp up to 2 of your ships. I think we do that. So I'm going to set a course. I'm going to draw a card, then discard a card. I could use that to get that ally and get him onto that ship. And I'll keep this card in my hand for a while. How about that? Rather than discard it. So I'm going to discard... Take an incident? No. Discard 2 cards, gain a cargo? No. We're just going to get rid of this one, I think. Oh, no, that's a free play. I can free play to get dilithium. Recruit. Take an incident to gain an ally. I already have allies. I just need to get them onto the ship. You know what? We have Phlox. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to, with our first action... I have to discard something still, right? let's get rid of... Actually, I don't need recruit when I've got holosuite. Yeah, so I'm going to just get rid of... I'm going to get rid of recruit. Yeah, because I don't need to gain an incident to gain an ally because I have the cargo or the holosuite. So I discarded the card. I drew a card, discarded a card, warp up to 2 of my ships. I'm going to put this over here for now. And then when the time comes, I'm going to get rid of it via this other card I've got, Strange New Worlds. But for right now, that's what I'm going to do. And then my holosuite lets me spend Latinum. I'm just going to do that. And I don't even need to, I'm just going to scan 1. I'm just going to spend 1 Latinum. Because I'm not going to look here. Well, I can, but I'm not going to take it. But at least I can see what it is. And then I'm going to take this one. And I'm going to use Picard's reaction to beam it to the ship by discarding another card. I'm going to discard data for that. So this goes onto my ship. That's 2. All right, a new one comes out. And that was an action to do that. And again, this reaction was free. I had to discard a card to do it. I've got 2 more actions remaining. Strange New Worlds is coming up, but I'm not going to do it now. I need my allies there. Phlox is kind of useless to me right now. I need to... any number of incident cards from my hand. I need to draw these incidents at the same time I'm drawing him, but I'm not getting it. I could do this to gain a ship and then play him to get rid of it. Although when I gain a ship, take an incident. Does take mean into my hand? Directly to hand. Okay, so I'm going to just get a free ship out of this. And it's worth 2 points. So I'm going to take an incident, right, to gain a ship. And it says take, which means directly to my hand. Directly to my hand. So I took it. I gained a ship. And gaining is here or discard. And do I need this? Requires 5 influence. If your opponent has 1 ship deployed, deploy this ship, then choose 2 following send away team location or draw. It's 2 points. I feel like getting away teams to here to get this yellow thing, that yellow stripe, that's what I need to focus hard on at this point. I feel like I take it and then I use it as soon as I can. So I'm going to put it on top of my deck. But then I'm going to play Phlox, which is return an incident from your hand. Beam this card to a deployed ship if able. Now, Picard is 3 allies. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Okay, I don't have 6 science. I do have 6 science. So I could require 6 science. Return any number of incidents from your hand. You may return an incident from your discard pile, which I don't think I have. Beam this card to a deployed ship if able. I could deploy it to the Enterprise just to get it out of my deck. That might be something to think about, just so I don't keep... just to get it out. But it's going to come back once I get another ally on here. But, all right, let's get this done. I spent an action to play that, and then another action to play that. And I'm going to return this, like so. The question is, do I want to use the bottom ability to move Phlox over there? And, I mean, it doesn't hurt. Let's just do it. Okay. All right, so we got Phlox there just to get him out of the deck. But that's all 3 actions, and this one I'm going to hold on to because I want to try and get an ally here. Redeploy the Enterprise, and then... or get an ally here, redeploy the Enterprise, and then, because I don't know if you complete that, if you complete your goal, does that then wipe that? I guess everyone on it, including the Enterprise, goes away. That's something I would have to look up in the rule book. So missions. Resolve, dismiss all beamed cards that contributed to completion of the mission. Other in-play cards, such as deployed ship, any location, are not. So the ship does not go away, but the cards beamed to it are. That contributed to it. So Phlox would stay on the Enterprise, but any allies would go away. So that's interesting. Okay, so that ends my current turn. We're going to clean up, resolve the star base crap. Let's go and get rid of the bird of prey, because we can. And then we're going to add, the pastor. We're going to add a glory to the ally there in case we can't get allies easily from our deck to do it. And we refresh that and these. Okay. We discard these. I'm going to keep this in my hand because if I can get an ally there, or an ally here to complete this, then I can use the Enterprise to, this card to get that done. And maybe that encounter will be worth a lot of points. So I think that's the right thing to do. Discard and draw. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And pretty much we're going to shuffle this up. We're going to buy another card now from the development. But preferably something I could use immediately and something that's going to get me a lot of points. Not bad. Deploy this card, junk a card, play free play a ship. That could be useful when I'm trying to get the Enterprise out of my hand without having to spend an action. That could be useful. I'm considering that heavily. That's an ally. I could get him beamed aboard now. I don't see why I can't look at my other cards in the meantime. Do I have an ally? I don't. So maybe I go with the Tamarians just to get that quest done, because we are almost out. We've got one more left. As much as I don't want to, I feel like I have to. And Picard does like allies. That would have been nice to have. It really would have been. I don't know if I can get this ally onto this ship before the end of the game. Is there a card that's going to let me do that? Get an ally. And I don't know if I'm going to get it. Do I have a card in my hand that's going to do it? Discard a card. No. Spend. I can't. If your opponent. That's the thing. I can't take that chance. I have to. So as much as I don't want to, I am going to take the Tamarian and take an incident. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, you know what? We're going to go with the phasing cloak and hope that we get an ally on our next turn. Because if we don't, we're kind of screwed. We're kind of screwed. All right. So let's put this in our hand as our development. And I paid the cost of it, I believe. 2 dilithium. Find a person and log it. I'm tempted to log her. Find a person and log it. Let's see. Find a person and log it. Data hasn't really been doing a whole lot for me, so I'm really tempted. And I haven't even promoted a second duty officer. That's what gets me so angry. I could have... I'm just going to log Data. Sorry, Data. We're going to log you as part of... Yeah, it says 2 dilithium and find a person and log it. So we got rid of Data from our deck, and then we're going to have to shuffle this. But now we're going to move on to... we're moving on to almost the final round here. Okay, so from what I can tell, we've got this round and then one more after that. So we're on like round 9, I think. Maybe 10. We're on round 10. That makes sense. So starting round 10, we're going to resupply. Let's see. And do I want to use that? I'm going to hold off on that. Because what if I get rid of an ally that I need? So I'm going to hold off on doing that. And then we move on to control. We're not going to control anything at this point, so we'll stop there. Then actions. Let's go ahead and take a look at our hand now. And see, discard a card to return this card. If the discarded card has attack, gain 2 dilithium. Or if you have a communication in play, return this card and gain 2 dilithium. I don't have any communication that I know of. That's going to be annoying. But I'm going to hold on to this until I can get an ally on there. Phasing cloak. Deploy this card, junk a card from the market. I feel like getting this out so I can free play the Enterprise when I need to. And if you ignore... just having it is good, maybe. Oh, man. Deploy and warp this ship. Requires 5 influence. If your opponent has at least one... See, the opponent is supposed to have one of everything, so technically he does have 1 ship deployed. Deploy this ship, then choose 2 of the following. Send an away team to a location or draw a card. I could draw a card. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to play the Reliant for the bottom effect. Now, if I draw a card, I can get through my deck faster. I want this card here for sure, but I just don't know if it's getting risky. I need to get an ally there before the end of the game hits. But I really want that one too, if I can swing it. So do I draw a card, or do I send an away team to a location? You know what? I'm going to draw a card just to be on the safe side because I need more action. So I'm free playing this one. I have 5 influence, and my opponent has most 1 ship deployed. Deploy this ship, then choose 2 of the following. So I'm going to deploy, I guess, the Reliant. I need more room. Do that. And I don't have a standee for it. I mean, I do. It's somewhere in here. Oh, I found it. There it is. I got lucky on that one. Okay, so there's the Reliant, and I can free play it. Deploy this ship, then choose 2 of the following. Send an away team, or draw a card, or discard an augment to gain. I don't think I have an augment. I don't. So I'm actually going to take an away team and send an away team to a location. I'm actually going to put it there. The reason being, now that I've got 3 away team, I can, if you have an away team here, draw a card, or if you have 3+ total away teams on 1 or more controlled locations, draw another card. So I'm going to draw 2 cards. 1, 2. Okay, that kind of worked out. Oh, these Halkins. Okay, but now I've got the Halkin, and I can get him onto this ship, right? So let's see how I go about doing that. Ideally, I want that because it has glory on it, but let's do discard a card to beam a card here. I'm going to discard... let's discard her. Let's discard her to then beam the Halkin here. We now have 3 allies on the Enterprise. Finally, we have 3 allies on the Enterprise. So, and we use that ability to draw some cards, so that's done. And, okay, so now we can complete this at any time, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to complete this now. Gain 4 dilithium. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then you may junk a card from them. Oh, and draw 4 cards. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I can junk a card from the market, which I'll junk Peanut Hamper. It's only 1 point. Yeah, it's just for sure. Moriarty. Okay. So we've got all these cards now. We completed our mission. I'm going to put this right here as a reminder so that now these do count. I really want that now to get more points because my influence is so far up there. And the reason this mission is complete is because I do have 3 allies and I have 6 here and 15 there, and it's above the 4s. Now, I did complete the mission with these allies, so these have to go away. They go into my discard pile. But Phlox and the ship, according to the rulebook, stay there. Oh, that is such a big relief that that is now done. I just can't. Thank goodness. Okay, so now I can focus on points. And I did keep the Strange New Worlds, and I did use this. So maybe I use it now to get those encounters, unless there's something else I want to do. No, Phasing Cloak, deploy this card, junk a card. I don't think I need to do this, but if I put this out here, I can then use this to free play a ship without having to use Riker. But Riker is already doing that for me. So, yeah, I'm not going to worry about that. Let's use Worf. Oh, no. I need to get my ship over here and get people assigned to it. So can I do that? Set a course. Oh, discard up to 3 people to send the same number of away teams to that location. I have Worf and really no one else. Well, that's not going to work. Okay, I'm going to play set a course, draw a card, then discard up to 2 of your ships. So draw a card. I'm going to play it for free. Draw a card, and then discard a card. Let's get rid of... let's get rid of recruit. Let's get rid of recruit. And then it says to warp up to 2 of my ships. I'm going to send the Reliant there, and that's 1 point. That's no points. That's variable. I'm going to keep the Enterprise there because I need it there to complete that one mission. So the Reliant is going there, and they're going to try and dump away teams onto Deep Space K7 before the end of the game. So that was a free play kind of thing. And now can we do that? Send an away team to a location where you have a ship. Okay, I think we do that. Can I do more than that? Worf, take an incident and discard it. I could do that. I could use these 2 cards to dump away teams there. Even if I have an incident at the end of the game, this card's going to be worth more than -2 points. So I think I do that. I'm going to first spend an action to send an away team to a location where I have a ship. I have the Reliant there. Or why would I do that when... You may put this card on top of your deck. No. Why play that when I can just play him? All right, so I'm going to take this back, just play Worf, take an incident, and I'm going to put 2 away teams there. 1, 2. I've got 3, that's enough. I don't need to spend both cards to do it. Spend an action to play Worf. I take an incident and discard it. Send 2 away teams to a neutral location, which I did. So I've got the Reliant there. I've got 2 away teams there. I'm going to take control of it next round, which is good. I've got 2 actions remaining. Let's go with free dilithium. Hey, cargo, that's not terrible. Discard 2 cards to gain a cargo. That's blue. And my blue is on the negative, or ×2. If I can get blue up 1 more, I can do a ×3 multiplier on my blue cards, which is good. Phasing cloak. No. Can I get... I still want to get rid of these if I can. Maybe I get rid of this now so that my hand isn't so cluttered. Select a controlled location if there is... Unless I do this on my final turn. If I do this on my final turn, after everything else is done, that encounter would just be for points. So maybe I'll hold on to this for now. Don't need that. Gain 1. Okay, let's go with utilize. And we're going to gain blue. So we're going to spend a action. We're going to pick 1 specialty. We're going to pick blue. We've got 1 there, 1 there. That's 2. Is that it? I could have sworn I had more than that. I guess not. So I get 2. But that brings me to an 8, which is past the ×3. That's fine. And the reason I did that was because, again, I'm tempted to discard 2 cards to gain a cargo, which is this, which means that /blue will take into effect. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to discard 2 cards to gain a cargo. Let's get rid of shuttlecraft and this red one. Okay, and I'm left with these. So I'm going to get this, and that goes into my discard. And what is it? You may discard a card to find an engineer ops. Junk a card from the market. Spend 2 to deploy this. Passive requires 3 tactical. Nah. No. Okay, I'm gonna have that for my points, and that's that. Okay. But I'm out of actions at this point. I don't think I'm gonna keep Phase Cloak in my hand, so I'm gonna probably just discard all of this and be done with it. Okay, so I'm gonna keep this in my hand. But before we do even that, we clean up. And that involves resolving the Stardate card, which is this. So we're going to put that there. We get 1 final turn now, right? Trigger the end of the game. Only take tokens from here during cleanup. So we get one more turn. The end of the game is just, is there final scoring? I could have sworn I read somewhere that like everyone gets one final round after the last token is gone. So we get one more round, but that's it. So this is the very last round. We put the glory token over there. We forgot to junk something, didn't we? Let's just junk this because we can. Okay. Tribbles. Nice. Okay. And then discard and draw. So we have that, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope I can draw a card at some point so I can get another one of these in play for scoring purposes. We have 5 there. Okay, we're going to discard, or yeah, actually we'll wait on that until, as a reminder, so I don't forget that if we draw a card, we get to take one of those first. Okay, so resupply, actually, I'm just going to do that. Oh no, yeah. See, if I discard the top card of my deck, that's going to be whatever I get from here. And is that going to be a bad thing? Draw a card or keep it. You know what? Is there a yellow in here? There's a blue. I feel like doing that just for the points. Yeah, the blue is a ×3 multiplier. So maybe I take the Make It So directive, even though I have to accept the fact that it's going to be discarded with his ability. But the thing is, this is return an incident from your hand or discard pile. I don't have... Yeah, these would all be in a deck at that point. So if anything, I would take it just for the blue down there. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to discard a card during the resupply step. We're going to gain a Latinum. To do that, discard the top card of my deck. I don't have one. So we're going to shuffle these up. Okay, and we're going to put that on top. Now it says to discard it. We forgot to pay for it, by the way. 3 dilithium. 1, 2, 3. Okay, got 3 dilithium there. So this goes into the discard pile to complete that resupply. Next, we control location. Well, the Reliant goes away, but we did control that location, and hey, it's got that yellow stripy thing on it, which is great. So it's going to go, I guess, here. Deep Space K7. Control no effect. Activation, play a directive or security on the top of your deck to gain an extra action, temporary action. That's interesting. Something I could have used earlier, but so it goes. Okay. Did I just get rid of... Something didn't look right. What is this? Oh, I got rid of the observatory? Why did I get rid of the observatory? I should not have gotten rid of the observatory. Oh, I put it down here temporarily. I was like, what happened to the card that was here? Okay, so we're going to just kind of keep that right there. Okay. All right, so what was I doing? I want to do this, but before I unexhaust. Before I do this, let's make use of its ability. I'm just going to draw 2 cards. 1, 2, and now its ability is done. I do have this Strange New Worlds. Select a controlled location for an action here. If there is 1+ crew member and a ship there, look at the top 2 encounters, take one of them and return the other to the bottom of the deck. Log the selected location and gain a science. So we're going to, let's do the science now before I forget. We're going to take 2 encounters. This is the first time we've done it. Ooh, okay. So we've got the Guardian of Forever or the Iconian Gateway. Oof. I can take one of them. And taking is right into my hand? Yes. Which one would serve me better? This has that yellow stripy thing on it, so I think I want that one despite whatever it can do, because I can only do it once. So I'm going to take this one and put it in my hand, and the other one goes to the bottom of the deck. I love that the Iconian Gateway and the Guardian of Forever are both in there. That's really cool. Okay, so we did that. Take one of them and return the bottom. Okay, log the selected location and gain. So I'm assuming that since they are there, they have to get dismissed. I'm going to assume that's the case, which means these go away. We log this. Okay. All right. So we logged that. Okay. And, jeez. And that was this. And what do we do with this? We just play it. Log the selected location and gain its science. So we can use this as many times as we want. If I can get the Reliance somewhere. Oh, I don't have any ships in play anymore. I don't have any ships in play. All right. Maybe I can get another ship in play, but we can't use that again. Send up to 3 crew to the same location, ignoring any opponent ship. Interesting. So I could play this, and although we don't take control of locations, there's no new next round. By putting away teams here, I'm getting points for having them there, but I wouldn't actually take control of it. So I don't think I'm going to play that for 3 points unless I really, really have to. Draw 2 cards, discard 1 of them. Put 3 cards on top of your deck to look at top 2 encounters. Take 1 of them. Okay, we're going to do that. So this one is, we're going to get more encounters. For it requires 5 influence. We're going to spend an action. 3 cards on top of my deck. Laris, Hollow Suite, and although not Hollow Suite, you may discard Tholian. Yeah, 2 and Crusher. Although I can return incidents from the discard pile, but I don't think I have any there. No, I don't. It's unfortunate that they're not there, but we're going to put Beverly Crusher back on top of the deck. So return top 3, or put 3 cards on top of your deck to look at 2 encounters. Take 1 of them and return the other to the bottom of its deck. Log this card. So we're going to log that card, and we are going to take 2. We've got the Boltzmann Brain and Shakari. Oh God, Star Trek V: The Search for God. Okay, so the only good part of that movie was the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes. Well, maybe 10. The campfire scenes. That was anyway. Row, row, row your boat. 6 points or 7 points. You may return 1 incident, but I don't have an incident, so it doesn't matter. The extra point, I mean, I'll just do that. Deploy this card. You may beam a ship here. If you do, your opponent takes 2 incident. No. Yeah, I'm going to take this for the points. Yeah, that's fine. And the other goes down here. Okay. But I'm not going to play it, I don't think. I've got 1 action left. And preferably something that's going to give me... you may discard a card to recall another non-time travel card from your staging area. You may duplicate a play... It's a shame I couldn't do that and then recall this and then play it again. But I have no ships to do that with. No effect. Put a direct... No. Do I have a security or a directive? I don't. Okay. Oh. After putting an encounter into play, gain 1 glory. You may log a card from your hand or discard pile. If I play this, though, I can log something, but then what's the point? Yeah, maybe I do use this for the extra 3 points. Getting stuff there, and then I could play that to log something, but I don't know. What else would I do? I could buy this card and then get 2 glory out of it, and it's an ally to go toward Picard's endgame, which is 1 point for each ally in your deck. So I could go for that one, but would logging do anything? When you log this card, you may log a card from your hand or discard pile. I don't see a reason to do that right now. I might be missing something, but still. I still haven't put a second duty officer out here. Oh, that hurts so much. I just wanted the starbase. Okay, let's just keep this moving and send up to 3 away teams to the... I do have 3 away teams. Nice. So I could play that card and then send 3 away teams over there if I wanted to. That would be worth 3 points at the end of the game, or I could take that it's just easier to do that, I think, with one. So I'm going to play this for my last action. Probably not the ideal thing to do. And I'm going to send 3 away teams out, because I don't know if it matters, but we're going to do that. Okay, 3 away teams. We don't take control of it because the game's ending now, but, 3 points is 3 points. So I think that's it. Triggers the end of the game. And let's take a look at final scoring. Okay, so I did all the calculating off camera. 5 glory tokens, 3 away teams at neutral locations, 5 allies for his endgame scoring thing. All of my cards added up to 37. I'm pretty sure I got them all, but I had to go through everything I had and add up the numbers, 37. Then I had 2 blue cards, and I got to the ×3 multiplier, so 2 × 3 is 6. Then I got 4 yellow cards, and I got up to the ×7 multiplier. So 7 × 4 is 28. And then I got nothing for the red track, and I don't think I get any points for completing my mission per this, but I could be wrong. But it came out to be 84, and it's not terrible for a first game. If you scored at least 70, you understand how to play the game. I didn't get to 100, and I didn't get to 120. So maybe I missed scoring opportunities somewhere. But I gotta say, this was meaty, but it was a lot of fun. And I look forward to giving this another go. There was so much I could have done better. I could have, got my second duty officer out there as soon as Starbase come out. But I was starting to fall behind on getting his mission done. And without that mission, you can't score these. So it's I had to do it. And this is one of those games where, you want to do everything, but you can't. So you kind of have to focus on what's going to score you the most points. And I look forward to trying out the bot at some point. I want to get a few more practice games in first, but I think this was well worth the endeavor. Star Trek Captain's Chair. This is Vince. Thanks for watching. Catch y'all next time. Take care.